Welcome back to the PapaMeats.
Oh, alright, sassy boy. Right, okay, so this is by PapaMeat. Outstanding name. 1.2 million views 5 days ago. Absolutely popping off. Drop my pre-like. We'll drop my pre-sub as well. Full screen. Let's get into this shit.
Welcome back to the
Darkside
PapaMeats channel. How
RuneScape.
you doing? How you doing? Coming and sitting down because today we're going to talk about RuneScape. We all have specific games that hold a special place in our hearts, right? I mean,
Yeah,
for
buddy.
me, it's basically just Magic the Gathering and League of Legends, and I really they both make me very sad. I don't know if I want to.
I've been in that league situation, bro. Get yourself out. It is literally the best thing you'll ever do. I quit playing League like 6 months ago, and yes, fantastic.
Include this, but if you went back and looked at my search history of things I've said during League, yeah, it probably wouldn't be good. I guess that's
I'll be in jail as well.
special. I feel like I like the idea of games more than actually playing them.
That dude's
I
room
like
is
Silent
awesome.
Hill, but I don't really ever like actually playing Silent Hill. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense to people, but that's how I feel. But for many people, they spend their formative years playing one of the most popular MMOs of all time, RuneScape. This
Yeah,
game
buddy.
has stood the test of time, evolving over the years to develop its own unique community and culture. And today, thousands of people still play the game consistently. It's one of the pioneers of the free-to-play MMORPG genre and has inspired many
goat.
games that came after it.
The
At a
fucking
time where
goat.
new games come and go like clockwork, it's fascinating to see how this relic can still be talked about frequently in the gaming space. And it's because of this that I want to take a deep look into the
best
game
MMO.
and see why
I
are
agree.
people so obsessed
agree.
with it. My first exposure over to RuneScape was I was in my friend's basement, very dirty, and his friend, I didn't have internet growing up, so I would get like little spurts of things, and this is one of the spurts of things where they were arguing over who would log
That was good. In little bits. Little bits. Yeah, let's just not even get into WoW.
into their account, and they were like kind of having a measuring contest on like armor, and I think one of my buddies had like dragon armor, which I think at the time
Delicious.
was a pretty big deal. But then I was like looking at the game like, whoa, this is insane. I just like that I could right click somebody and then I could follow them, and then I could type stuff just like you're gay, and it would pop, the little text bubble would pop up. I was like, that's about as far as I got. I had to kill the rats at the beginning, but that's about it.
I think the rats killed me.
I didn't understand there's a whole hierarchy of an ecosystem and a financial aspect with gold and trading and markets and stuff. Going into the market on a busy day was like having a panic attack. There were so many like text bubbles popping up. I could barely take it. It was too much for my fragile, tiny mind.
For the real ones that know, World 2, Falador East Bank. Yes, that's where shit went down. This isn't old school RuneScape. This is when the OG, what is now RuneScape 3, was that game. Like 2006, 2005. Get yourself in World 2 at East Falador Bank. It was like all kinds of naughty shit was going down. And yes, there was people selling swordfish and bones as well. But there was also some naughty shit.
Let's take a look at how this game came to be. Because in 1998, Andrew and Gower Paul, two brothers from the University of Cambridge, developed a browser-based MMORPG named Devious Mud, or Multi-User Dungeon. It was a bare-bones isometric game written in Java that would
does
slowly
look like
morph
Runescape.
into the game we know as
bloody-
RuneScape. RuneScape,
Yeah,
now
that'll
developed under the company name Jagex? Jagex? Jagex. Jagex. It's like a racial slur, doesn't it? You Jagex. Jagex was released in 2001 to an overwhelming response. It anticipated a player cap of 2,000 slots to be more than enough, and ended up struggling to find server space to fit all the players that would rush to register. They worked around the clock, updating the game to add new content and fix issues that would arise with the non-stop stream of new incoming players. And during the early 2000s .com bubble, many internet-based companies
Wow.
soared in value because of the belief that these internet companies would be the future. And they were right, to an extent. I'll put all my money in Enron. Well, eventually, the bubble burst, leading to the intense budget cuts that resulted in RuneScape's website ads being cut down dramatically. This, on top of rising server
I
costs,
used to
meant
hate
RuneScape was on the verge of shutting down.
Anyone that used to play RuneScape when it was a browser game, can you remember when the adverts used to be at the top of the screen and you'd be clicking and sometimes you would misclick and hit an advert and it would take you off it would like take you off the game and you would just be standing doing whatever you were doing. It was always when I was like fighting a fucking dragon or some shit like that. Or what used to happen was the page would like reload itself, or the advert would refresh or something. The advert would become the main focus of the browser, and then if you happen to press backspace at the same time, it would then take you back to the login screen. Again, you'd just be standing there, so you could be in the wilderness, like in the middle of a fight, and you would just take you back to the login screen. Yep, that was the browser days.
Completely. To combat this, they eventually introduced paid memberships too, leading to a whopping 5,000 people joining within the first few days of its launch, a move that ended up saving them. The game would still be free, but paid members got access to new exclusive future content.
How long did you lot before? How long did you play the game? People in chat. How long did you play the game before you became a member? Because I remember playing it, and I played it for a while, a few months, 2-3 months as a kid, before I became a member. And then I had a sleepover at my mate's house. This is fucking weird, but yeah. I had a sleepover at my mate's house when I was like 13 and he was a member. And I was just watching him do fucking castle wars and run around in like RD, and I think he'd done the heroes quest and he had a dragon battle axe, and I was just like, oh my god. And yeah, I obviously didn't have a bank account or anything at the time, but I had a phone and had credit on it, and you could text and get a membership code sent to you. And yes, I spent the night at my mate's in doing Castle Wars because I got the membership. My mate showed us how to get the membership on my phone using my phone credit, and then my mum dropped a foot and spinning elbow on us when I got home because she thought I was doing something insane.
You think that they were like in those early days when it was like the Wild West? Do you think they were ever like, you can fuck in this game?
Oh yeah.
If you pay for it, you can have sex in this game.
I bet you like that's like what you'd hear at school. Yeah, you know, if you pay the $5 membership, you can.
I paid $5 and I got a finger a dwarf. I got a finger a lizard person with my dragon armor. The next big
in 6 months.
major update was in 2003 with the release of Runescape.
What the fuck did you do for 6 months? I suppose back in the day when you were a kid, like the standard non-membership stuff was super interesting. I think I probably only became a member because I seen what it was like, and when I watched my friends, when I watched my mate run around Castle Wars with a dragon battle axe, and I absolutely got a semi on.
2, featuring a graphical overhaul and brand new mechanics that greatly enhanced this experience. RuneScape 3 released in 2013, along old school RuneScape, a separate version of the game that resembled the 2007 version of RuneScape 2. Are you following along?
Yeah,
hello?
buddy.
This was a time where the game seemed to
old school saved the game again, because I think after the evolution of combat on RuneScape 3, we lost the majority of people that played the game. I was one of them. And then, as it happens, I came back to RuneScape 3, like, where are we now, 2025, probably like 2022, 2023? Then I spent like a year maxing that account, because I had like 1 or 2 99s when I quit anyway. I had like Fletching and, I don't know, something else. Fire making, some of the shit ones. And then I come back, and I was like, I'm gonna, actually it was around COVID time, when I was working from home and shit. That was the perfect working from home game, so I AFK'd max on RuneScape 3, basically. So it was like a year, which sounds like a long time, but in RuneScape terms, to max an account, that's not an awful lot, considering I had like no bank really. So yeah, I went max account in like a year, AFKing, while working from home.
be at its peak, as well as
And
being
then, recently, literally like a month or 2 ago, we started a group Iron Man with a few other lads I went to school with, so that's going great.
the
If you want to see some like RuneScape content, maybe I might stream it when the lads, well, because we'll be doing like Barrows and like God Wars and all that shit, at some point, but it'll be a little while, yeah, because I'm still like AFK and crab with like 70 strength at the minute, so it might be a minute, but yeah.
Version with a combat system most players preferred. Old school RuneScape, or OSRS, is easily the most popular version of the game today. So that's where we're at. That's if you didn't know what RuneScape was, and if you still don't know, I don't know, I'm supposed to tell you. One of the most iconic things about RuneScape is undoubtedly the existence and mechanics behind the wilderness.
Look at those graphics, man. I remember playing this and
I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. I feel like honestly that's what the charm of it is. That it's like an aesthetic choice. If it was all
Literally.
realistic like Guild Wars, who still plays Guild Wars? There's gonna be some asshole.
Where were we? Let's go.
In RuneScape, there's a portion of the map dedicated to unrestricted PvP content between players. People who traverse this area to fight bosses and collect valuable drops can
Donnie's
be
in third age.
obstructed by players, which is, you know, meaning that players.
The majority of my early life playtime on RuneScape, to the age of maybe 18, less than that, 16. PKing on RuneScape was gaming to me. It's all I done. Like, played RuneScape, done like other little bits here and there, but literally the majority of my time was PKing. I had a Zerka Pure and I had like a 1 defense Pure, I think, at one point.
Come over and kill you, and you know, which can be incredibly frustrating to many, as you lose most of your items upon death. Yeah. Okay.
well, the Warcraft don't do that.
World of Warcraft doesn't do that. Blizzard's too scared. While some think wilderness PvP is insufferable, others find that this constant stress that this Wild West environment brings to the game is what makes it so unique and exciting. It's like Escape from Tarkov. Like when I play, it matters. When I traverse the wilderness, it matters. Player killing, or PKers, are people who seek out players to kill in the wilderness for items, money, or simply for sport. There's a whole community around the idea of PKing, with some people going to elaborate lengths to fool people into entering the wilderness only to be killed immediately. Those are sociopaths. If you're, even in a digital world, if you are going and making time to like lure someone in somewhere to kill them, that's like it's the same as basically being like, my son's killing cats. It's like a new age Jeffrey Dahmer. One man, Fury.
That's concerning, is all I'm gonna say. Yeah, I'd love to get back into PKing, but I feel like the level that people will be on now will. My eyes look so fucked. I swear I don't have a bong eye. It's this camera. The level people will be on now will just be insane. Sorry, my eyes look so crazy.
Explains how he had weeks of progress destroyed due to the constant abuse from gangs of PKers, which is exactly the kind of post PKers want to see. He is feeding them. PKers have become so infuriating to players that they would have to start searching for protection rackets, where high-level players would be paid to follow them in game and protect them while they went around about their business. How cool is that, though? That kind of turns that's like a legitimate like fantasy story.
Yeah, like hiring like a Kingsguard or something. Yeah.
The Wilderness Guardians.
I love when shit like that happens, like by accident in games, though. Like it's not an intended mechanic, but like just the social side of the game evolves and that happens.
One of the most influential clans in RuneScape history was created specifically to combat this issue.
No way.
They've even organized multiple real-life meetings across the country.
Look at them, absolute.
That's how
Dons.
real this shit is, dude.
It's like a literal white knight.
It's a literal white knight expansion group inside of RuneScape to like defend honor and justice. Wait! Today's video is sponsored by Fume, the leaders in flavored air. Breaking bad habits can be hard, so why don't you let Fume help? Fume is not a vape, it's not an e-cig, it's just flavored air, which means you can use Fume anywhere. That's because there's no vapor, no nicotine, and no toxic chemicals. And on top of that, Fume is an award-winning device that puts you on the path towards being free from bad habits. And Fume's new mango flavor is perfect for the summer. Fume is also there for you when you're feeling anxious.
I've
Find
never
your
heard of
calm
this
and
before.
center yourself with its satisfying clicks and snaps wherever and whenever you need to. Over 500,000 people have already made the switch to Fume as part of their habit change journey. If you're ready to try it for yourself, now's the time. For a limited time, if you order the Journey Pack using my code PapaMeat, you'll get a free Fume topper, an awesome accessory to level up your experience. Click the link tryfume.com/PapaMeat or scan the QR code on screen to get yours today.
I've never heard of that.
Thank you for sponsoring this video, and back to the video. This isn't the only anger.
I used to vape. Yeah. I'm not even gonna look into that Fume thing. because I know what I am like.
Inducing part of the game. In RuneScape, there are many ways to screw over other players. So let's talk about some of the classics. We wanted to set up how people get frustrated, because now we're going to slowly dive into some of the ways that we're taking the meter and just kind of going. We're going with it, right? Sometimes we just start immediately with like a baby death and we have nowhere to go. So I'm ramping it up for you. RuneScape scams, guys. Which one is price manipulation, aka the RuneScape pump and dumps of the time. You think that these people doing Bitcoin and crypto and pump and dumps work? I mean, this shit's been happening in RuneScape since the dawn of time, dude. People would artificially raise the price of an item in the Grand Exchange, which is the in-game trading system. That's the one I was telling you, it's a panic attack, whatever, just to sell them off and make a massive profit in game gold. Not even in real life gold, maybe sometimes, because you can trade stuff, or there's transactional stuff where it's like, I'll buy gold off you. But this is just people being like, look at my digital gold. And you can also go to another scam, was begging, because in RuneScape, beggars are simply low-level players that pester others for gold and items. Some are more experienced and will dress and act in ways that make people feel enough pity to willingly give them better items. I just want to say dress in game, and I don't know if psychologically they're just like, look at her, they feel bad.
Oh, yeah.
When this fails, beggars will follow high-level players and constantly harass them until they leave the world, or give them something just to end the confrontation.
I used to beg in WoW at the crossroads. Never worked.
I don't know, what would you beg for? Is it just gold? What would you get with the gold?
I needed gold to pay for my mount.
Can you just do quests for gold?
Well, back in the day, it was, I don't know, maybe I just sucked, but it was hard to get gold.
I could see you being a person where it's very much just like, I don't want to have to do the quest. I just want to, can someone just give me gold so I can get my pony? Another scam was armor trimming.
Oh,
Inexperienced players are unaware that you can...
Yeah. I never did it, but I was aware of people that did. That's what I'm going to say.
Just trim any armor set you want to add decorations to it. Because of this, people will offer free armor trimming to low-level players and trick them into handing over valuable armor for this service. As soon as they receive it, they log out the game and you won't see that ever again. Shit happens. Or we can talk about the double money scam, a type of trust trade in which players claim...
This still happens now. You go to GE World Tour, run around, you'll see this shit.
They will double your money by exploiting a supposed glitch. The new player gives them gold, only to soon be traded twice that amount. After the victim buys into the scam, he trades a ton more money, only for the scammer to log off. It's a classic bit.
I put in 811K, and I got his 4.3 mil, and he has no idea that he just got scammed. I mean, yay, and he's gonna say, again, can you double me again? Because this guy is an idiot.
Total, I'm telling you, these are sociopaths being made, and these are children doing it. Kids are smart, dude. They're devious, aren't they? Jesus Christ, I gotta bleep that. Or we could talk about free membership scams. Experienced players will trick people into thinking that if they give their login credentials, they'll buy them a free RuneScape paid membership. And as soon as they buy into this, they get their account stolen. Throughout RuneScape's long history, there have been infamous groups and events that have cemented itself in the gamer's lore. One of the most well-known examples is undoubtedly the Falador Massacre. I like this, dude. I like how we could talk about RuneScape in the same way that you could talk about American history. Like medieval history or something. Like it's like the Boston Tea Party or the Boston Massacre, that kind of thing. This took place in June of 2006, and it all began after a player named Cursed You became the first person to level up his construction skill to level 99.
I was playing at this time, but I was completely oblivious to this entire incident happening. Obviously, I know about it now, but I can't wrap my head around the fact that I didn't know that this happened.
To celebrate, people started flooding into a large home to congratulate him and party. From here, something strange and unheard of occurred. Because there were approximately 800 people in his home, the game started to lag aggressively. It got to the point where Cursed You had no choice but to kick everyone out of the house. Everyone was ejected and sent back into Falador, a city that is considered a safe zone where PvP is not possible. Somehow, due to a bug, players that were thrown out of the house could engage in PvP with any player in Falador. Oh my god! This resulted in a massive...
Is this guy a voice actor or something? He's got to be, surely. His voice is like...
Where players began abusing the bug to take out as many people as they could and steal their valuable loot. Because people thought they were safe for the celebration, many had incredibly valuable items equipped at the time. And at one point, a player had lost one of their party hats in the Carnage, an exclusive item from 2001 event that later became
one of those now. Not that you would ever do this, of course. But one of those party hats now, if you were to sell it for the gold, and then the equivalent of that gold, if you were to buy it, which again you can't do because it's against the rules, but let's just fucking talk about it. It would be thousands and thousands, like probably tens of thousands of pounds or dollars or whatever. Like, it's worth so much fucking money now.
The most rare and most valuable items in the game. Some of these items are worth thousands of real life dollars, okay? Can you imagine it? He's like, that was my kid's tuition. Out the door! My retirement was a goddamn ass!
I had a mate that had like 3.
In the end, the bug was fixed, but there was little that they could do to return people's lost items. Rolling
Bro's a banker in California, he'll be alright.
back the game would affect too many people that were not affected by the carnage. It's awesome. Literally reads like a piece of like, doesn't it?
Yeah, you got kicked out of a party and everyone got drunk and killed each other.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh my god, kick him out. People, the guy's house party goes too crazy, kicks him out, and everyone goes into a town and just murders everyone. I will say that people, I bet you anything, the guy first got to get to level 99 construction skill, and the people that were like murdered in that, I bet you they still talk about it to this day. I bet you that's a deep wound.
100%.
Seems stupid, like, you know what I mean? His car's wrecked, and he like has perspective though. He's like, it's okay. I've been through worse. That kind of thing. And not all historic moments in RuneScape were as negative as the Falador massacre. In fact, some were insanely wholesome, like the Order of Cabbage. This is gay. Anytime I talk about positive stuff.
Fuck. This guy's good. Have I subbed to him? I need to, if not. No, okay. I've already subbed. See? Yeah, he's funny as fuck. I don't know about the Falador, the cabbage thing.
I'm always just like, the Order of
Tell me,
Cabbage
Papa.
word. All right. The Order of Cabbage was a RuneScape cult that spawned from the mind of Black Bane, a user that decided to actively collect cabbages, an incredibly low-value item. From 2003 to 2004, he had picked 100,000 cabbages and started noticing people joining in out of pure curiosity. Eventually, he created the Order of Cabbage, recruiting around 20 people and dressing up in identical robes as they continued picking in groups. Over time, as the cult became more publicly known, hundreds of people had joined them. Together, they would create organized cabbage picking patterns to clear fields as efficient as possible. The little diagram is so stupid. Not only that, but they even started an annual event called Help a Noob Day, in which members would give free armor to new players and help them around the game.
It still happens now. And I'm a part of it, yeah. Not that fucking picking the cabbages for 20 hours, fuck that. But if I see a noob starting the game and I'm happen to be around and I've got money, I'll just throw them 20k. That'll godsend early game.
Fan sites were created as well as pieces of lore written out to explain the backstory of the cult, which became essentially their Bible. Now, 37, Backbane looks back on this time in his life and gives some takeaways from the whole experience, saying, quote,
Don't try to change the world. Start with making one small change in your life and commit to doing it every day.
I think he said that on his deathbed.
Did he die? Jesus Christ. That's almost like an Abe Lincoln quote or some shit. It's like after he got shot in the back of the head. It is very wholesome. You know what it kind of does, though? Which is, this is up. I want to say this is a good thing. All that. But I just want to say, too, I feel like if people heard that and they were like, we're trying to get in the game, they'd be like, help a noob day? What the dude? You know what I mean? Things survive when it's hell. That's how games survive. That's how people get hooked in for the lulz. I don't know.
I wish they massacred the cabbage cult.
Yeah, now see, if the Falador massacre had the cabbage cult inside, that would have been, even more tragic because it's such a wholesome thing.
Peaceful monks being slaughtered.
Yeah, monks slaughtered at a monastery. No! For many kids playing the game in their youth, RuneScape was a major part of their social lives. And because of this,
What is that in the background? Is that the new RuneScape?
It's not uncommon for people to have had experience with RuneScape.
Fuck me, I hope there's a new RuneScape, a RuneScape 4 with like Unreal 5 graphics, but keep the same RuneScape flavor. Don't try and make World of Warcraft. Don't try and make New World or insert MMO here. Just RuneScape, but Unreal 5. Sexy RuneScape, call it that.
RuneScape romance. This is where I'm at, boy. This is what I like. I have my own friend. I'm not gonna name it, but he met his wife on an MMO RPG, one of my buddies, and they're still together this day, and they have 2 beautiful kids. How crazy is that? It was more common than you think. Back then, too, I remember even back in the day, the whole thing was if you were a guy talking to someone, you're like, you realize you're getting scammed by a guy, right? You know what I mean? No one believed it. Nowadays, I feel like it'd be normal. If you're sitting there, oh, yeah, I met her online. I feel like it's way more normal than it used to be. And like in the early 2000s, fuck.
Well, there's only like 2% of women playing video games back then.
Exactly. Yeah. Angels. Saints. Many people have made posts reminiscing about how they met their first romantic partner in Runescape, which ranged from short and innocent to an elaborate means to rob.
I had a girlfriend in 2006, and the bitch took my black kite shield, G, and I was hurt as fuck and couldn't afford another, so I had all black G and a normal black kite. Oh, brother.
Them of their gold. Regardless, people have long since used the game in order to meet women, to the point where there are even full-on guides that explain the methods of doing so. These guides cover the best locations to find women in the game, the proper fashionscape that will attract them, which is a term that refers to characters dressing in their fashion, and how to seduce women, right? These are other men, other guys in your category being like, trust me. This is what you're supposed to do, okay? In most cases, however, the women players that the players think that they're getting with are actually men in disguise who want your gold and valuable items. That's just the dawn of time. It is what it is. Catfishing is a big issue in online MMOs like this. According to one woman, she was 14. She was duped by a man that she was e-dating for a whole year. His name was Cody Jones, a supposed 16-year-old bad boy surfer from California that she was introduced to by her. He was introduced to her as the little brother of their clan leader, John. They would become so close that after a year of dating, her mother let her fly to California to spend the day with him at Disneyland. And when she arrived, suddenly, Cody and members of his family, who were also in the guild, stopped responding to her. After a long stretch of radio silence, she received a text that read, "Hey Amanda, it's Jess. Cody's in the hospital. He tried to kill himself with a bottle of pills. He won't be around for a while."
Whoa.
I just want to say, poor little girl. Can you imagine? Mickey's just like, you want a picture? You want a picture, little girl? And she thinks she's like, Cody, what happened? A year later, Cody explained that because he lied about his appearance, he felt ashamed and tried to take his own life. He told her that he was actually 3 years older than her, and both eventually agreed to meet up for real. He looked nothing like his photos. He appeared far older and had 2 hearing aids. She tried to see past his appearance, and they ended up kissing that night. The more time they spent together, the weirder things got. He would outright refuse to let her see his ID when she asked about it, which that's already bad. When you're 14 or 15, you're like, can I see your ID? To have that, no, I ate it. Or he'd be like, what? Yeah, I was gonna say, huh?
How old are you picturing? Like, do you think receding hairline?
I'm picturing a guy in his early 40s that is like has had some genetic issues, whatever. So he's like maybe balding or the hearing, that kind of thing. I'm thinking early 40s. I'm putting my bets on early 40s. Eventually, she confronted him about it, only to find out that Cody was actually John, the clan leader, and was actually a 30-year-old man operating multiple fake accounts. He had lied to her for years, even forging hospital documents to trick her into thinking he'd attempted to take his own life. That's some like Catfish 101 type shit. Hey, I have this really cute friend I think that you'd be interested in if you want to talk to him. Yeah, definitely. Hey.
I'm John's bro, Cody.
I'm John's little brother, Cody. I'm young. And I'm bad. I feel bad, man. I feel bad for the little girl. And also, probably since then, once again, learning experience. Next time she's in a game and she sees like a dragon guy come up to her, she's probably just like, no. She's like, I only play Madden now. Another thing that people reminisce about in regard to RuneScape romance is cyber size. Some people have discussed innocent examples of cybering in RuneScape, like having one character stand on top of another for a few seconds, which is all the boys need. Yeah. which this seems fairly harmless, right? Some people took things to the extreme, though, in an attempt to make it a large profit. It was revealed that RuneScape had an active cyber sex market, and one player noticed that a specific world in the game has a high population of characters soliciting cyber sex through alt accounts. I like how it's literally Shinjuku, Japan. It's just like a red district. So, like, I like how RuneScape has their own red light district. He claims that there are loads of female accounts who also use the game as means to sell graphic videos of themselves to other players for gold. Through conversations with other informed players, he discovered that there were entire clans filled with accounts that would trade insane amounts of gold for these services. And it gets much more dark considering the odds that minors are reaching out to these accounts and having actual conversations with people far, far older than them. Also, too, it's probably men. I would assume a lot of them are men getting just like videos off the internet and selling it in that kind of way, but still it's just like such a gross, weird role play behavior, that kind of stuff. But I bet you anything, a fair amount of like of age people were just like, yeah, what else would you do? Would you spit on my back? Turns this character around and the little text bubble pops up and it's like a star spit star. Believe it or not, there are many cases of people committing crimes within RuneScape that have led to confrontations with the police in real life. I just want to clarify that. Yeah, I just want to make sure you didn't.
I muted my mic. Yeah, so I wonder if it goes into that Rot clan, who they used to do some diabolical shit, didn't they? When they used to like DOS people and shit, they were awful.
I think that it was like little characters in the game like, halt! Joshua Brandon Paolo was arrested at the age of 19 after making death threats against someone over RuneScape. At one point, he claimed that he would level his local high school in Mississippi and that he couldn't wait to, quote, blow brains out of skulls.
Okay.
Some guy who was just high school. During the exchange and stuff still. Transfer all my gold out. Transfer my gold. Days after, he was arrested by the FBI and he pled guilty and was thrown in jail for 6 years. That's a hefty and I wonder if there's more elaborate, if like it was something where 6 years is just crazy. I just wonder how elaborate it got. If he just said those two things, they're just like, come with us. Who's joking? That kind of thing. Or did they sit there and they found some shit in his car? Or I don't know, you know? And this isn't the first arrest to happen because of RuneScape. In 2013, a 19-year-old Kyron Benham ran into trouble after scamming his friend out of his gold. They had both been arguing for some time, and Kyron decided to get back at him by sneaking onto his computer and stealing the gold that he had been collecting for 6 years in RuneScape.
That's fucking awful. Imagine doing that to your friend. I'm pretty sure someone done that to me as well, who won't be named, but yeah.
The next morning, he left the home after stealing 2 bottles of liquor. Surprisingly,
he's clearly English.
Things escalated to the point where Kieran was arrested and brought to court. Where the gold had no real-world value, he had still gained unauthorized access to a friend's computer and had stolen their property. As punishment, he was ordered to pay 116 euro, or 135 bucks USD. I feel like the judge would just be like, what is it? Yeah, he got on my computer, Your Honor. He saw all my pictures, my Microsoft Paint drawings, and he talked to my elf priest, and he took all my gold. My dragon armor, and my dragon armor. Especially 2013, he'd be like, I don't care. You're both gay. Order. You've both 6 years for being gay. Gold farming is the act of collecting large sums of in-game currency to then sell for real-world currency on second-hand markets. You go, you get a bunch of gold in-game, and then instead of having to
People
work
still
for it, you can
fucking
be like,
do
I'm just going to pay
Runescape.
$5 for X amount of a bunch of gold. And that's how people farm that shit and make money off of it. For years, people have used this as a means to make consistent earnings. Because of this, there were cases of RuneScape bots flooding the game to mindlessly farm gold. RuneScape has long since established harsh rules against real-world trading. Because of this, they rushed to take action. I mean, it got so bad that up to 8,000 accounts were being banned weekly in 2007. The gold farming movement grew to a massive scale in areas like China to the point where the government had to officially ban the practice in 2009. I feel like I remember back in the day, like early days of eBay and stuff, I feel like I remember seeing like, oh, RuneScape gold, and you could buy stuff on eBay. Because I think you'd buy it and then they would like send you a link or a thing to where you could log in and get it. There's something about the RuneScape 2007 era that has a chokehold on so many people, with one man even asking for advice on Reddit about whether or not he should leave his fiancée of 8 years because she doesn't approve of him playing RuneScape endlessly. He states, and I quote, "Since COVID, I'm starting to think OSRS is better than having a family." Awesome. One man admits that during a 9-year prison sentence, he'd struggled intensely due to his inability to play RuneScape, which I can't see people being like, if you play games every day and then you take that from someone, it's gotta be like crack. It's gotta be like heroin.
Yeah.
Stripping someone off heroin, start shaking and stuff. Like time would probably be so up. He thought about it every single day, even writing a novel from the point of view of his old account that he'd share with his prison buddies. Awesome.
Read this, guys.
This is Klondor. It's like that thick. They're like, what the fuck? He's like, I see it in my dreams.
What it's like on the outside, boys.
Here's what it's like in heaven. The second he got out of prison, he immediately bought a membership to Old School RuneScape. Quote, yeah, he bought the membership before I bought a steak or had sex. Awesome. RuneScape is a game that many people hold near and dear to their hearts, and it's easy to understand why people find themselves becoming so enamored with it. This game's been around for over 2 decades now, so there's copious amounts of deep lore and nostalgia that appeals to a wide variety of people. It's accessible, comforting, and one of the most dedicated communities of any game out there. So just want to say, if you're getting into RuneScape, go at it. I mean, it's proven that it's a good game. It's not the flashiest game, but I will say, I feel like one of those instantly recognizable. You're either going to get hooked right away, or you're going to be like, this looks horrible.
The leveling system's very addictive. I'm gonna
Yeah.
chop some wood. Oh, yes.
Yeah, it's also kind of turn your brain off, and like you could be chatting with friends. I don't know. It's a classic game. Haven't talked about it in a while. It was nice going down this road, but don't gamble your life away and don't threaten to like school or some shit like that. You think you'll be all right. So until next time, guys, we will see you in the next one.
Unbelievable video. Loved it. Yeah, I've never watched this guy PapaMeats before, so yeah, give him a sub. I'll put the original video in the description if you want to watch it yourself. Give it a like. Like, comment, subscribe. Thank you.